Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Salenti, and it's Thursday, January 12th, 2023. And here are some of today's trends in the news. And you remember, the trend is your friend. And we're your friend. We're giving you the trends that nobody else gives you anywhere, anyplace, anyhow. They don't do it. All they did in the new year was this is what happened in 2022. Oh, what happened to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Never heard of it before, but anyway. So we're giving you everything we can. So please, click on that subscribe button down there and also spread the word. Spread the word for Trends Journal and tell your friends, tell those who you care about what's going on in the world so they can know what's happening. Because when you tune into the mainstream news, all you get is news from dumb fuckistan. Oh, I took the C out of there, right? Anyway, stocks today. And they closed higher. You know why? Well, because December's consumer price report showed inflation cooled for the month, raising hopes that the bankster bandits won't raise interest rates very high when they announce it on February 1st. And that's what's driving it up. But to say that showed inflation cooled for the month, you know what that is.
That was bullshit.
That's right. It went down. You ready? It dropped a grand total of 0.1%. Who the fuck are you talking to? Oh, we're talking to everybody else. Salenti, calm down and swallow the shit. Oh, everybody out there knows how wonderful it is. Prices aren't going up at all. Oh, and it didn't go that high. But have the prices dropped that low? Hey, you can't afford to buy eggs? You know, it's total media.
Bullshit detected. Take precautions.
And that's why I subscribe to the Trends Journal. So now go back to our trend forecast. What did we say? We made it very clear that if the Fed doesn't raise interest rates, the markets are going to go up. The market's going to go up. So the money junkies, the Wall Street money junkies who need their cheap monetary methadone to keep gambling, which the fuckfaces in the media call investors, can get their cheap dough to keep playing the game. End of story. So if they only raise interest rates 25 basis points, markets keep going up. And as we said back in November, after every midterm election, the last 40 midterm elections in the United States, the S&P 500 went up some 15% over the next 12 months. So we just had the midterm elections. Number two, Bitcoin. Oh, Bitcoin. How long have we been saying that it's stabilized at that 16,000 mark? For months. And that if it keeps staying in this range, there's a strong upside potential. And that's exactly what's happened. We said if it goes down, it's going to keep going down. But we said if it stays in this range and starts popping up, it's going to keep going up. And that's exactly what's happening. It's in your Trends Journal. Number two, or number three, or number 150, because we have a lot of them. And do we get it right all the time? Of course not. We're human beings. Only the politicians get it right all the time. Don't you know that? Oh, and your teachers, the school teachers, they get it right all the time too. Again, there's too many unpredictable human and natural, made by nature wild cards that nobody could forecast. So going back to the other big one, gold. Go back to when we said gold prices, when they hit that $1,600 an ounce range, we said they bottomed. And now gold today hit $1,900 an ounce. So the upside of gold, we say, is very, very strong. So again, just going by the facts. December CPI report showed blah, 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 blah. Prices were up still 6.5%. I mean, total fucking bullshit. Calm down, Salenti. Be proper. Yeah. Swallow the shit. Oil prices. $84 a barrel. What do we say? We see them going up higher for two reasons. Number one, China is, getting back into business. It's going to take a while, but they're going to be buying more oil. But the big one is the Ukraine war and our top trend, one of the top trends, Middle East meltdown. What's going on in the Middle East is, again, not our language, so don't call me an anti-Semite. The right-wing government. You can't wave that Palestinian flag. It's a terrorist flag. Imagine if the Palestinians were in charge and said, you can't wave the Israeli flag. Oh, how terrible. What bullshit, huh? Again, I call every country out. Now, I don't care race, creed, color. I call murderers and thieves who they are. So take it easy. I could criticize America, but I can't criticize Israel for keep stealing their land. Oh, and maybe the anti-Semitic, we will call that, that's anti-Semitic, or the AIPC or FUCK, whatever the fuck they are. How dare you keep stealing their land? And they're going to keep doing it. That's the new government says they're going to keep doing it. No, but we're going to call it settlers because when Moses came down with the 10 Commandments, it said, this land belongs to us. We'll take it anytime we want. It's right there in the good book. Yeah, chapter 3, paragraph 2, Whereas it's section 8. So anyway, that's where we see gold. We see oil prices going up more for the year. Yeah, Kitco, gold breached that $1,900 an ounce Thursday as inflation cooled. Yep. And gold is already up 4% this year. And again, back in November, we said it bottomed, and it has. And that's why you subscribe to the Trends Journal. Commercial property deals in UK declined to 12-year lows. Wow, can't believe it. We never figured that out. Oh, that was only our forecast, not only the UK, it's all over because of the COVID war and the damage that it's done. And what else? Oh, spare office space is rising in Dublin as some of the world's biggest technology firms grapple, blah, 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 blah. And surplus office accommodation that is leased but not being used currently accounts for about 32% of all available supply. Again, what's one of your top trends? Offices sit empty as vacancy rates hit all-time high in Q4. This is from Canada. Office building bust. You got it? We forecast this back in April of 2020. We said it was going to, no, it's going to. Remember, it'll come back. It'll come back. Life has changed. The damage that's been done by the COVID war is incalculable. Incalculable. And they call it, the pandemic. It's not the pandemic, it's the politicians. Again, I ask everybody, how many people you know that died? Well, I got a friend that knows a friend. Yeah, how many people do you know died? How many? And now one of my friends could say, my uncle or somebody's, like that. But that's it. The myocarditis, I just had a fan that stopped by because they were here for a funeral, a 21-year-old kid. They got vaxxed. But again, I'm not saying that caused it because I don't want to get banned on this station. So, because we began and banned on TikTok for saying things that aren't even that, just regular stuff. Guess the Chinese don't like us. What else we got here? Sweden plans to lift limit on construction of nuclear power plants. What's your Trends Journal cover? Going green. And we say the good and bad of it, like it or not. What they're going to call green, they're going to call anything. This is a big entrepreneur opportunity. Matter of fact, in this week's Trends Journal, we had a spotlight on nuclear power plants. And again, they're talking about, the new nuclear. No, that's not near coming about. It's still the dirty nuclear Fukushima stuff, by the way, which they're dumping the water into the ocean that's not even being reported. So here we go. Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson said a law would be proposed to lift current restrictions that limit the number of nuclear reactors to 10. And in only 3 locations in the country. Sweden is the latest European country to look to nuclear power to bolster its production of renewable energy. UK plans to start work on 8 reactors in 2030. Yeah, 2030. We wiped off the Earth with World War III ramping up, and the bullshit about nuclear this and nuclear that. Again, this is from Business Insider. A number of attacks would most likely target one of these 6 cities, a nuclear attack. This is how they're preparing the people for it, by putting this bullshit in here. And then they quote this fucking crap. A nuclear attack in large metropolitan areas, blah, 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 blah. And the Federal Emergency Management Agency has some, ready, this is their language, has some simple advice. Yes, simple advice for fucking simpletons that follow this fucking simpleton shit. Get inside, stay inside, and stay tuned. How about bend over and kiss your ass goodbye? You're going to be dust, man. But anyway, talking about nuclear, and it comes from a lot of different ways. And what else do we have here? A new industrial age. Report highlights renewable energy boom. And they're estimating that they call this the dawn of a new industrial age. And they're going on to say, this is the International Energy Agency, IEA. There's going to be $650 billion a year spent. And China's dominating both the production and trade of most clean energy technologies, because the business of China is business, while the business of America is war. Could you imagine if NATO and the United States, since the end of World War II, rather than all these wars, and probably the hundreds of trillions of dollars spent in the military, industrial, and intelligence, i.e. spying complex, was put into research and development? Could you imagine? We'd have a very clean, cheap energy, and we'd be living much, much nicer lives in so many ways. But fear, hysteria, hate, and war is what they sell. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. One nation under God? What God you talking about? What God you talking about that supports all this war? Indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Invisible liberty and justice. There's no liberty and justice. The pigs get a slap on the wrist. Liberty, they tell us everything to do. I'm arrogant. Gavin Newsom. Oh, yeah, look at me. Close down your business. I'll tell you what to do. Liberty. Oh, but we're going to bring freedom and liberty to other countries. Witless Whitney, that little bit of the wine over there in Ohio. Every shithead around. Macron, the Catson over there in France. All these shitheads. What liberty? And these fuckfaces starting wars say we're going to bring freedom and democracy to another country. Yeah, when they robbed it from us right here. Oh, check out the video yesterday with me and Judge Andrew Napolitano. Oh, by the way, a great video that I did with Daniela Cambone. And we're going to put the link up on Stansberry. You're not going to want to miss this one. And these are the trends of 2023 as well, with some great questions coming from her. So 3 countries account for 70% of the manufacturing capacity for solar, wind, heat pump technology, etc., with China, quote, dominant in all of them. CNSnews.com. Americans rank congressmen lower than journalists and car salesmen for honesty and ethical standards. I find this sexist. America ranks congressmen lower. Hey, how about the congresswomen? I'm only kidding. But, we could really be stupid about it. But the reason they rank them lower is because they're pieces of shit, with the exception of the very few, like Massey out of Kentucky. He's a great guy. He fights for freedom and justice. He's my kind of guy. But the rest of them are a bunch of scumbags. How could you look up to an Adam Schiff? One dope after another. Little Chucky Schumer. One jerk off. Anyway, and then again, lower ranks congressmen lower than journalists and car salesmen. Those are the ones that come next to it. There are no journalists, and the people know it. There are no journalists, and the people know it. And that's why subscribe to the Trends Journal and make sure you click the subscribe button below to get all our exclusive interviews and trends analysis. And I've said it before, but the Trends Journal is 100% independent, no ads. We answer to nobody, but it also means we're not a member of the club. So please consider sharing this video so we can get the word out. And if you're not a subscriber to the Trends Journal, please do so. And if you are, thank you very much. You go to trendsjournal.com, and take a look around. We're giving you what nobody else is giving you, not even coming close. And the people know it. And speaking of bullshit, Biden, this is the Wall Street Journal today, Biden aides find classified documents at second location. You know, if this was Trump, and I can't stand Trump, to me he's an arrogant shit. But again, the Trends Journal, go back to May 2016. We were the first magazine to call Trump a winner. So we call it as it is, not what we like or dislike, like little prostitutes that get paid to put out by their corporate pimps and their media and their government whoremasters. So going back to Trump, if this was Trump, this would be big news. This would be big news, as it was when they had Trump stuff. But being that the game is rigged, so here, this is what they say. Washington. President Biden's aides, pieces of fucking shit that swallow the crap that are part of the crime syndicate, have found additional classified documents in the second location beyond those discovered in November at a Washington office. Mr. Biden used his vice presidency, a person familiar with the issue said Wednesday. It couldn't immediately be determined where or when the additional documents were found. You ready? The White House didn't respond to requests for comments about the second batch of records. What do you mean they didn't respond? Bringing freedom and democracy to other countries when we got a dictatorship running our show? Who the fuck are you not to answer these questions? Who the hell are you? Hey, calm down, Celente. Hey, shitheads, you're public servants. You got it? We pay you. No, you got it wrong, Celente. You're just a plantation worker on the global plantation of Slavelandia, topped by the United States. And Justice Department spokesman declined to comment. Why the fuck should we talk to you? Who the fuck are you? We'll cover it up and we'll do everything we want. The White House has declined to provide additional details. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre didn't answer questions about when the president was first briefed on the discovery of the documents. Quote, you ready? I know you're all going to have a lot of questions. I get that, and I understand that, but I'm not going to go beyond the process that's currently happening. In other words, go fuck yourself. I understand. I get that. I'm not going to. Don't you know who I am? You look like a cartoon character out of Mad Magazine. What kind of shit is this? It's a crime syndicate that people call a government. Following a CBS News report, the White House on Monday confirmed that Mr. Biden's personal attorneys discovered classified materials at the center more than 2 months earlier, on November 2nd, and turned them over to the National Archives the following day. So they waited till after the midterm elections to put out the information because they knew they were going to get caught. This is disgusting. And keeping disgusting going, UK and Poland confirmed tanks for Ukraine. Isn't that nice? Tanks a lot. Yep. UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak, in a fucking country that's going down the toilet, stealing more money from the people, sending it to Ukraine, said it has asked Defense Secretary Ben Wallace to, quote, work with partners to further and faster with our support for Ukraine, including the provisions and tanks. Huh. Okay. And then we got the Polish guy, the Polish President Andrzej Duda Day, or Dippity Duda. Yeah, Mr. Dippity Duda, another arrogant little shit. You ready? Here he goes. We are accelerating our support to Ukraine with the kind of next generation military technology that will help win the war.
Bullshit level, DEFCON 5.
You better get under, you better dive under. What kind of bullshit is this? The war is not ending. Everything indicates Russia will continue to wage war against the attrition against Ukraine. And we're going to keep sending more and more weapons, right? Keep ramping up the killing fields. Russia's going to win. The lies that they keep putting out there. And again, I'm totally opposed to the war. And again, totally understand why it happened. War of peace. The United States overthrow the democratically elected government of Viktor Yanukovych in 2014 in your Spring Trends Journal when it was a quarterly. And what else do we have here? U.S. to begin training Ukrainians on Patriot missiles in Oklahoma. So imagine if the headline read, Russia to begin training Iraqis on whatever missiles they have in Moscow next week. How could the Russians do this when we're going in there to kill everybody? What hypocrisy this shit is. Or if they sent them into Afghanistan. Again, and they call it a Patriot missile is an oxymoron. And then they go on to say, Politico first reported the U.S. military was considering training Ukraine forces on Patriots inside the U.S., a plan that will deepen Washington's involvement with the war. The U.S. has been training thousands of Ukrainians how to use U.S.-provided weapons at its bases in Germany and elsewhere in Europe, but hasn't had similar training inside the U.S. since Russia invaded Ukraine. Well, the other thing is, in our Trends Journal, we quote Lloyd Austin, the United States Secretary of Defense, formerly a general, and before that sitting on the board of directors of Raytheon, the second largest defense contractor in America, saying that American advisors are in Ukraine showing them how to use these weapons. All right? We're at war with Russia. And here's what we're saying. The deeper Biden goes down, and he's going to go down with this stuff because we're going to see the dirty deals with Hunter Biden, with the deal with Burisma Energy over there in Ukraine after the United States overthrew the government. Him and John Kerry's stepson, they're Chris Hines of the Hines family, getting on the board of directors of Burisma Energy and making millions of dollars. Yeah. And more stuff is going to come out. The deeper Biden sinks, the more he's going to ramp up the war. People forget this. After the disaster of pulling out of Afghanistan, Biden's polls were plummeting. People were so disgusted what happened, the billions of dollars there. The United States bombing and slaughtering innocent people as they're leaving. But all of a sudden, it was forgotten with the Ukraine war as they ramped it up. The deeper Biden sinks, the more they're going to ramp up the Ukraine war. Because, as I keep saying, when all else fails, they take you to war. U.S.-Japan bolster security ties. Yep. And this is beyond the belief. You ready? This is, again, the general in charge, the former guy from the military-industrial complex, Lloyd Austin. Quote, Japan and the United States remain united in our concern over China's destabilizing actions. And I want to reaffirm, I am in charge. You are nothing. We tell you what to do. Don't raise your voice, Celente. Swallow the shit that he's spewing out. Okay. I want to reaffirm the United States' ironclad commitment to defend Japan with the full range of capabilities. You ready? Including nuclear. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice? Buried in the article. No one talking about it. We got maniacs, satanic, demonic people. Don't give me the crap. It's one nation under God. No God supports this, Mr. Austin. Resurgent Freedom Party leads Austrian polls. Yep, one of your top trends, by the way. New political parties, populist parties, anti-immigration, and anti-inflation, and anti-establishment. It's going to keep growing. How deadly were the COVID lockdowns? Wall Street Journal. So this is not, you can't censor it because it comes from the club. There's opinion commentary by, for Americans under 45, there were more excessive deaths without the virus in 2020, 2021 than with it. They have all the details here, and it's by Mr. Arnott and Mr. Mulligan. Research is there, the facts are there, and more facts. Again, go to your Trends Journal, check it out. There's nothing like it anywhere. Hit the subscribe button, spread the word. And as I said before, the Trends Journal is 100% independent. So please share this video so we can get the word out. We're fighting for freedom, peace, and justice. And again, we thank all of you who are subscribers to the Trends Journal, and there are a lot of you. Again, we do everything we can to give you the best we can at a price that you can't beat. And if you're not subscribing, please go to trendsjournal.com. Thank you. From COVID war to Ukraine war to world war. Are you prepared for what's next? These are unprecedented times. What's next? What's going to happen? Read the Trends Journal. We have an unsurpassed track record of forecasting history before it happens. Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens. From the world leader in trend forecasting.